Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Assoc, Prof. Yasser Madany, and I'm excited to be here with you today. I'm a senior member of IEEE and URSI, and I'll be guiding you through this presentation. Today, we're exploring the fascinating world of word processors and information technology. Over the next few moments, we'll cover key concepts, important developments, and practical applications in these areas. I look forward to sharing this knowledge with you and engaging in some insightful discussions. Thank you for being here. Let's take a moment to look at the outline for today's presentation. On this slide, I want to walk you through the key points we'll be covering. First, we'll start by understanding the main themes and objectives of our discussion. Then, we'll dive into the core concepts that underpin our topic, making sure we grasp how they connect. After that, we'll explore some practical examples and case studies to bring these ideas to life. Throughout, I'll highlight the most important concepts you should remember, tying everything back to the overall theme of the presentation. This outline is designed to give you a clear roadmap of where we're headed, ensuring we stay focused and engaged every step of the way. Let's take a moment to look at this overview. Here, we're setting the stage for the entire presentation by highlighting the key points we'll be exploring. It's important to understand that each of these points connects back to our overall theme, which is about understanding and improving our processes. As we go through, I'll explain how each aspect contributes to a clearer picture and helps us move toward our goals. Think of this slide as a roadmap, guiding us through the main topics we need to focus on to get a comprehensive understanding. So, keep these points in mind as we delve deeper into each section. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. Let's take a moment to discuss some essential file operations that are fundamental to managing data effectively. When we talk about saving files, it's crucial to understand not just where to save, but also the different ways we can do it. Saving a file ensures that our work is preserved and can be accessed later. We also need to be familiar with opening files, which allows us to read or modify existing data. This operation is key to maintaining workflows, especially when working with large or complex datasets. Another important aspect is copying files, which helps us create backups or duplicate data for different purposes. Moving files, on the other hand, involves transferring data from one location to another, often to organize or declutter our storage. Finally, deleting files is a necessary operation, but it should be done carefully to avoid losing important information. Understanding these core file operations, saving, opening, copying, moving, and deleting, forms the backbone of effective data management. By mastering these, we can ensure our data is organized, secure, and easily accessible, which ties back into the overall theme of efficient data handling and workflow optimization. Let's take a closer look at some essential file operations that are fundamental to working with data. These operations include creating, opening, reading, writing, and closing files. Understanding these basics is crucial because they form the backbone of data management in any programming language or system. When we talk about creating a file, we're essentially setting up a new storage space where data can be saved. Opening a file allows us to access that data, whether we're reading from it or writing new information. Reading a file means retrieving data so we can process or display it, while writing involves saving new data or updating existing data within the file. Closing a file is just as important as opening it, because it ensures that all data is properly saved and resources are released, preventing potential data loss or corruption. These operations might seem straightforward, but mastering them is key to efficient and reliable file handling, which ties into the overall theme of managing data effectively in any application or system. Let's take a look at the concept of export, which is a fundamental part of file operations. When we talk about export, we're referring to the process of saving or transferring data out of one application or system so it can be used elsewhere. It's a crucial step because it allows us to share information, back up files, or prepare data for further analysis. In this context, understanding essential file operations is key. These include not only exporting, but also importing, copying, moving, and deleting files. Each of these plays a vital role in managing our data efficiently. Focusing on export specifically, the main idea is that it enables us to convert our data into a format suitable for other programs or platforms. For example, exporting a report as a PDF or a spreadsheet as a CSV. By mastering these file operations, we ensure our workflows are smooth and our data remains accessible and usable across different tools and environments. This ties back to our overall theme of effective data management and seamless integration across various stages of our projects. Now, let's talk about creating content, specifically focusing on fonts. Fonts are a crucial part of designing any visual content because they help set the tone and improve readability. When working with fonts, it's important to choose the right typeface that aligns with your message and audience. Next, we'll touch on some essential file operations. These are fundamental actions like saving, opening, and organizing your files, which ensure your work stays safe and easy to access later. Proper file management is key to maintaining a smooth workflow and avoiding unnecessary frustration. Throughout this process, remember that mastering font selection and file operations enhances the overall quality and professionalism of your content. These skills also connect directly to the broader theme of creating compelling, polished presentations that communicate your message effectively. Let's talk about creating content with proper spacing. When we're designing our material, it's essential to pay attention to how we space our content. Good spacing helps make the information more readable and visually appealing, which keeps our audience engaged. Now, moving on to essential file operations. These are the fundamental actions we need to perform with our files. Understanding how to efficiently create, save, open, and organize our files is crucial for smooth workflow and productivity. By mastering these core operations, we ensure that our content is well managed and accessible when needed. These concepts tie back to the overall theme of effective content creation and management, making everything more streamlined and professional. Now, let's move on to creating content with proper spacing. When working with files, understanding essential file operations is crucial. These operations include creating, opening, saving, and closing files, which form the foundation of managing your data effectively. Properly handling files ensures that your work is saved correctly and that you can retrieve it when needed. Remember, these file operations are the building blocks for any project involving data management. As we continue, keep in mind how these basic actions connect to larger workflows and overall content creation. Mastering these essential file operations will make your work more efficient and reliable. Now, let's move on to creating content with proper indentation and alignment. This is a crucial step because it helps make our documents clear and easy to read. When we talk about indentation, we're referring to the space we add at the beginning of a line or paragraph to show hierarchy or structure. Alignment, on the other hand, is about how text lines up on the page, whether left, center, or right, and it influences the overall look and feel of our document. Getting these right ensures our content looks professional and is visually appealing. This ties into our overall theme of effective document formatting, because well-structured content communicates your message more clearly. Now, let's briefly touch on essential file operations related to creating and managing content. These include opening, saving, copying, moving, and deleting files, fundamental actions that keep our workflow smooth and organized. Understanding these operations helps prevent data loss and makes it easier to manage multiple documents. By mastering these basic file operations, we're better equipped to produce high-quality, organized content efficiently. Now, let's talk about creating content, specifically lists, and how they relate to essential file operations. When we're working with files, organizing information into lists can be incredibly helpful. Lists allow us to structure data clearly and accessibly, making our programs more efficient and easier to understand. Key points to keep in mind include how to create, read, update, and delete items within these lists, all fundamental file operations. Understanding these operations is crucial because they form the backbone of managing data effectively. Whether you're saving a list of usernames or processing a set of data entries, mastering these file operations ensures your programs handle data reliably and securely. Connecting this to the overall theme, mastering list creation and file operations enables you to build more dynamic and robust applications. It's about making your data work for you, seamlessly integrating file management into your projects. So, the more comfortable you are with these concepts, the more powerful your programming toolkit becomes. Now, let's move on to creating content styles, which is a crucial part of designing professional-looking documents. When we talk about essential file operations, we're referring to the basic actions that help us manage our files effectively. These include opening, saving, copying, moving, and deleting files. Mastering these operations ensures that our work is organized and easily accessible. Remember, handling files properly not only saves time, but also prevents data loss. Connecting this to our overall theme, efficient file management is key to maintaining a smooth workflow and producing high-quality content. So, always pay attention to these fundamental operations. They're the foundation of good content creation. Now, let's move on to creating content with styles. This is a crucial step because it helps you make your work visually appealing and aligned with your message. When we talk about styles in content creation, we're referring to the consistent use of fonts, colors, and formatting that give your project a professional look. Next, we'll cover some essential file operations. These are the fundamental actions you need to know to manage your files effectively. Things like saving your work frequently, organizing your files into folders, and backing up your data are all critical to ensure your work is safe and easy to access later. By mastering these key points, creating styled content, and understanding essential file operations, you'll be well on your way to producing polished, professional projects while keeping your files organized and protected. This ties back to our overall theme of efficient and effective content creation. Let's now move on to creating content styles, which is a crucial part of designing effective presentations. When we talk about styles, we're referring to the way we format and design our content to make it visually appealing and consistent. This includes choosing fonts, colors, and layout options that match our overall theme and message. Now, to manage our content effectively, we need to understand essential file operations. These are the basic actions we perform when working with files, things like creating new files, saving updates, opening existing ones, and sometimes deleting or organizing files. These operations help us keep our work organized and ensure that our content is easily accessible when needed. Connecting this back to our broader goal, mastering content styles and file operations allows us to produce professional, polished presentations efficiently. It's about making our content not only look good, but also being able to manage it smoothly throughout the entire creation process. Now, let's move on to creating content with tables. Tables are a powerful way to organize and present data clearly and efficiently. When working with tables, key file operations come into play. These include creating new tables, modifying existing ones, and managing the data within them. It's important to understand how to insert, update, and delete data to keep your tables accurate and up-to-date. Additionally, saving and exporting your tables ensures your work is preserved and can be shared easily. Mastering these essential file operations helps streamline your workflow and enhances the quality of your content. Remember, effective table management is a cornerstone of professional and organized data presentation. All right, let's talk about creating content, specifically captions. Captions are essential because they help make your content more accessible and engaging. When you're adding captions, understanding the key file operations involved is really important. These operations include creating, editing, saving, and managing your caption files. Each step is crucial to ensure your captions are accurate and synchronized properly. By mastering these file operations, you can streamline your workflow and produce high-quality content efficiently. Remember, well-managed caption files not only improve viewer experience, but also support accessibility standards. So, as we move forward in this presentation, keep in mind how these fundamental operations serve as the backbone for creating compelling, inclusive content. Now, to add captions to our content, we'll start by selecting the References tab, then click on Insert Caption. This process is essential for creating clear and accessible content, especially when we want to label figures, tables, or other visuals properly. It's a simple step but very important for maintaining organization and professionalism in our documents. Remember, this ties into the overall theme of creating content that's both effective and user-friendly. So, whenever you're working with visual elements, these captioning tools help ensure your audience understands exactly what they're looking at. Now, to create a cross-reference in your document, you start by selecting the Insert tab. Then, click on Cross-Reference. This feature is really powerful because it allows you to link to other parts of your document, such as headings, figures, or tables. By doing this, when you update your content, the references automatically update as well, saving you time and ensuring consistency. Remember, this is an essential file operation because it helps keep your document organized and professional-looking. So, whenever you're working with complex documents that refer to other sections, using cross-references is a best practice. It connects your content seamlessly and makes navigation much easier for your readers. All right, let's talk about creating content using the Insert menu. This menu is essential because it allows us to add different elements to our document or presentation. When we think about creating engaging content, inserting images, charts, or multimedia can really enhance our message. Now, under this menu, you'll find some key file operations that are fundamental to managing your work efficiently. These include inserting new items, but also options like copying, pasting, and deleting. These operations help us organize our content smoothly and make updates as needed. It's important to remember that mastering these insert and file operations saves us time and keeps our workflow seamless. They're the building blocks for creating professional and compelling presentations. So, as you explore the Insert menu, think about how each element can support your overall message and make your content more impactful. Let's talk about creating content using keyboard shortcuts, which can really speed up your workflow. First, we'll look at essential file operations that are fundamental when managing your projects. These shortcuts help you quickly save, open, or close files without interrupting your creative process. For example, pressing Ctrl+S saves your current work instantly, saving you time and preventing data loss. Opening a new file or project can be done swiftly with Ctrl+N, which is much faster than navigating through menus. And if you need to close a file, Ctrl+W is your go-to shortcut. Mastering these shortcuts not only makes your work more efficient, but also keeps your focus on creating, rather than getting bogged down in file management. Remember, integrating these quick commands into your routine connects seamlessly with the overall theme of working smarter, not harder. Let's move on to creating content, specifically focusing on the orientation phase. When we're talking about creating content, it's essential to understand the fundamental file operations that underpin this process. These operations are the building blocks for managing your files effectively. First, we have to be comfortable with opening files, which allows us to access and edit existing content. Then, saving files is crucial because it ensures all your hard work is stored securely. Remember, saving frequently helps prevent data loss. Next, there's copying, which is useful when you want to duplicate content or create backups before making significant changes. Moving or renaming files helps keep your workspace organized and makes locating files easier later on. And finally, deleting files is necessary to manage clutter, but should be done carefully to avoid losing important data. All these file operations are fundamental because they support the entire content creation process. When you understand and master these basics, you set a solid foundation for more advanced tasks. This aligns with our overall goal of becoming proficient in content creation, ensuring your workflow is smooth and efficient from the start. Now, let's move on to creating content, specifically focusing on headers and footers. These elements are essential because they help organize and give context to our documents, making them more professional and easier to navigate. When adding headers and footers, think about what information you want to consistently display on every page, such as the document title, chapter name, or page numbers. Next, we'll talk about some essential file operations. These are the basic actions you need to master to manage your files effectively: saving, copying, moving, and deleting. Knowing how to perform these operations smoothly ensures your work stays organized and protected. It's important to connect these concepts to the overall theme of creating professional, well-structured content. Proper headers and footers enhance readability, while solid file operations keep your work safe and accessible. Mastering these skills is fundamental to producing high-quality documents and managing your files efficiently. All right, let's talk about creating content through image editing and some essential file operations. When working with images, it's important to understand the key file operations involved. These include opening, saving, and exporting files, which are fundamental to managing your work effectively. Opening a file allows you to access your images, while saving ensures your edits are preserved. Exporting, on the other hand, helps you convert your images into different formats suitable for various uses. These operations are the backbone of maintaining a smooth workflow. They tie into the overall theme of creating compelling content because good image management helps ensure your final output is professional and polished. Remember, mastering these basic file operations saves time and prevents frustration down the line, so they're essential skills for anyone working with digital images. Now, let's move on to creating content using shapes. Shapes are a versatile way to add visual interest and clarity to your presentations. They can be used to highlight key points, organize information, or simply make your slides more engaging. Next, I want to touch on essential file operations. These are the fundamental actions you need to manage your presentation files effectively, such as saving, opening, and backing up your work. Understanding these core operations ensures your content is safe and easily accessible when you need it. By mastering both creating content with shapes and managing your files properly, you'll be well on your way to making professional and impactful presentations. Now in Word, if you go to the Review tab, you'll find the Track Changes feature. This is a really useful tool because it allows you to keep track of any changes you make to a document. Essentially, it acts like a digital red pen, highlighting what's been added, deleted, or modified. Tracking changes is especially helpful when you're collaborating with others. It lets you share your updates with reviewers without losing sight of what's been changed. You can see their comments and suggestions right alongside the document, making revisions much clearer and more organized. So, whether you're revising a draft or proofreading a final version, this feature ensures that everyone stays on the same page. It's a key part of the revision process, helping you produce polished, accurate documents efficiently. This ties into our overall theme of effective editing and collaboration in document management. Now, let's look at the comment option, which you can find under the Insert menu in both Word and Docs. Adding comments to a document is really like scribbling notes on the side of a physical book. It's a quick way to highlight ideas or ask questions without changing the main text. To add a comment, simply go to the spot where you want to make a note and select the comment option. This makes it easy to collaborate, review, or proofread, especially when working with others. Remember, comments are an essential tool for revision and proofreading, helping you keep track of suggestions and improvements without cluttering the original document. This feature ties into our overall theme of efficient editing and collaboration, making document review more organized and accessible. Now, if you look at the top right-hand side of the Home ribbon, you'll see the search icon, which is represented by a magnifying glass. This might seem simple, but it's actually a very powerful tool. When you click on it, you can quickly find what you're looking for within your document. But there's more. This feature also works with find and replace, which is incredibly useful when you need to locate a specific word or phrase throughout your entire document. Once found, you can replace all instances at once, saving you a lot of time and effort. This combination of find and replace is especially valuable for revision and proofreading. It helps you ensure consistency, catch errors, and streamline your editing process. So, whether you're revising a draft or just double-checking your work, these features are key tools to have at your disposal to make your editing more efficient and thorough. Now, let's take a look at some useful tools in Word that can really enhance your writing process. Under the Review tab, there's the Thesaurus feature. This tool is fantastic for finding synonyms and expanding your vocabulary, especially when you're revising an essay or working on creative projects. It helps you choose the perfect word to convey exactly what you mean. Also, within the same Review tab, you'll find Spelling and Grammar. These tools leverage AI techniques to automatically detect errors in your document. They not only highlight mistakes, but also suggest potential fixes, making editing much easier and more efficient. Both the Thesaurus and Spelling and Grammar tools are essential for revision and proofreading. They help ensure your writing is clear, polished, and professional. Using these tools in combination allows you to refine your work effectively, connecting with your overall goal of clear, impactful communication. Now, in Word, if you go to the Reference tab, you'll find the Bibliography option. This is where you can automatically generate a list of all the sources you've cited. Also, right next to it is the Insert Citation feature. This allows you to add a citation directly into your document whenever you reference a source. A citation is simply a reference that points to the source of the information you're using. It helps give credit to the original author and allows your readers to find the source themselves. On the other hand, a bibliography is a complete list of all the sources you've used in your document, like books, articles, or websites. It appears at the end and provides all the necessary details about each source. So, in essence, citations are the in-text references, and the bibliography is the full list of sources at the end. Both are essential for maintaining credibility and transparency in your work, especially when you're building an argument or presenting research. They connect directly to the overall theme of proper sourcing and academic integrity. Let's talk about how to create links within your document. To do this, you select any text and then click to open the context-sensitive menu. From there, you choose the Link option. Hyperlinks, as you probably know, are shortcuts that connect you to other parts of the internet or even different sections within the same document. This makes navigation much easier and more efficient. Remember, hyperlinks aren't just for external websites. They can be set up to jump to specific sections within your document, helping readers find information quickly. So, whether you're linking to a resource online or to another part of your file, understanding how to set these up is a key skill for creating interactive and user-friendly documents. Now, in the pop-up screen, you'll want to choose Place in this document, and then find and select the Jaguar heading. Simply right-click on the text where you want the link, and then pick Insert Link from the menu. This will bring up the dialog box. Remember, hyperlinks are essentially shortcuts within your document. They can take you to other parts of the same document or to external websites. It's important to note that hyperlinks aren't just for linking to outside sources. They're very useful for navigating different sections within your own document, making it more interactive and easier to move around. So, by setting up these links properly, you're helping your audience or yourself access relevant information quickly and efficiently, whether it's a different section or an external resource. Now, to create a link within your document, you should choose Place in this document and then select your choice under Bookmarks. Bookmarks are essentially markers or locations you've identified earlier in your document that you want to easily reference later. They act like signposts for quick navigation. Remember, linking to another section of the same document is always a two-step process. First, you need to identify your target, either by using heading styles or by setting a bookmark. Once that's done, the next step is to create a link from wherever you are in the document to that target. By understanding how to effectively use bookmarks and linking, you make your document much more navigable. This ties into the overall theme of creating well-organized, user-friendly documents that are easy to navigate and reference. Let's talk about footnotes. A footnote is simply additional information that you find at the bottom of a page. It's a handy way to include extra details without cluttering the main text. If you're working in Microsoft Word, inserting a footnote is straightforward. Just go to the References tab and select Insert Footnote. On the other hand, if you're using Google Docs, you can add a footnote by going to the Insert tab and choosing Footnote. Remember, footnotes are an excellent way to provide references or clarifications that support your main content, helping to keep your presentation clear and well-organized. Now let's look at how you can easily add a table of contents in different word processing programs. In Word, you'll find the option under the References tab. It's quite straightforward. Just click there, and you can generate your table of contents automatically. In Google Docs, the process is just as simple. You go to the Insert tab, then select the Table of Contents menu. This makes it easy to organize your document and give your readers a clear overview of your content. These tools are really helpful because they save you time and help keep your document organized, especially as it grows longer. Remember, a well-structured table of contents can enhance the overall professionalism of your document and make it more user-friendly. So, whether you're working in Word or Google Docs, incorporating a table of contents is a smart step toward creating a polished, accessible document that aligns with our overall goal of effective communication. Now, let's talk about the mail merge feature in word processing software. This tool really makes our job easier and helps us keep everything looking clean and professional. The first step is to write the letter you want to send out to everyone in a single Word document. Think of it as your master template. Then, with Mail Merge, you can automatically insert personalized details, like names and addresses, into that template. This way, instead of manually editing each letter, the program does the work for you. It saves a lot of time and reduces the chance of errors. Overall, Mail Merge is a powerful feature that streamlines mass communication while maintaining a polished appearance. It's a great example of how technology can simplify our tasks and improve efficiency. All right, now let's move on to the next step, preparing your mailing list. If you have a large number of contacts, say 1,000 business contacts, you'll want to organize all that information in an Excel sheet. Make sure each contact has its own row, and include a header row at the top that clearly labels each column. Things like first name, last name, company name, business address, city, state, and zip code. This way, when you use Mail Merge, the system can easily match each piece of data to the right place in your message. Remember, the key here is organization and clarity. Getting this set up right will make the entire mailing process much smoother and more professional. This step connects directly to our overall theme of efficient communication and personalized outreach. Now let's move on to the next step in the Mail Merge process. First, open the Word document that contains your letter. Then, go to the Mailings tab at the top of the ribbon. Here, you'll want to select Recipients and choose Use an Existing List. From there, locate and select the Excel file that holds all your recipients' information. Once you've connected your data source, you'll want to personalize your letter by inserting merge fields. To do this, click on Insert Merge Field and choose the recipient's name or any other relevant information you want to include. Place these fields in the appropriate spots within your letter where you want the personalized data to appear. This step is crucial because it allows your letter to automatically include each recipient's details, making your communication more personal and efficient. Remember, the key here is to connect your data source properly and insert merge fields thoughtfully, so your letters look professional and tailored to each individual. This process ties directly into the overall theme of streamlining communication and saving time through automation. Now that you've finished inserting fields into your Word document, the next step is to use the Preview Results feature. This allows you to see exactly how your merged data will appear in the final document. If you click on Preview Results again, it will switch back to your original document, so you can make any adjustments if needed. Once you're satisfied with how everything looks, you're almost ready to finalize. When you're ready to print or email your documents, simply choose either Print Documents or Send Email Messages under the Finish and Merge menu. The word processor will then connect to your printer to print out the documents, or connect to your email to send the messages. This process makes it easy to efficiently generate personalized documents or emails for multiple recipients, saving you time and effort. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. Thank you all for your attention. If you have any questions or want to discuss further, please feel free to reach out. You can contact me via my email at contact@Madany.com or Dr. Yasser, Madany@yahoo.com. Additionally, you can connect with me through my IEE email at imadany@iee.org. For more information about my work and ongoing projects, please visit my website at https://imadany.com. Once again, I truly appreciate your time and interest. Thank you very much.